to 3 questions, I'll be explaining you what strategy you guys are supposed to follow when you have to place your answer in bullet points. So in this case, for example, conservation strategies are not new to India. This is not new to India. That means we've been following it for quite some time. Now they've been asking what are these strategies followed by the traditional communities. That means they're going to talk about the local communities. So talking about the local communities, giving their reference, start with point number 1. For example, in Rajasthan, the Sariska Tiger Reserve, they've spoken against and fought against the mining practices. So they've, protected their, tried to protect their habitats and declared that region of forest that's going to go under, their own conservation, and they've also named it. So you've supplied 3 set of information in this question. The very first set of information in this is the Tiger Reserve, Sariska Tiger Reserve that you're talking, and I expect you to underline. See, there are 2 strategies when you follow a question. Either you underline the important points if you're writing in a paragraph. If it's not a long answer and you're supposed to write your answer in a paragraph, kindly underline the points. So very first point here is Sariska Tiger Reserve. Second is talking about mining activities in this case. Second point is, if you are writing in pointers, it's going to be villagers of Alwar district of Rajasthan. Again, they have declared some area of their domain to be declared as a protected area. So for this, I'm going to underline district of Rajasthan. They have declared 1200 hectares as Bhairodev Sanctuary. It's not sanctuary, of course, you have to write the correct spelling. So when I talk about all these conservation measures and all these steps, please make sure that you underline the important points and give a conclusion that we've not, achieved the desired goal, but still working for it. In this way, what I have given is, I've given a good introduction. I've given the point in bullets, or maybe if you want to underline the points, make sure you do that. Third, I've concluded in a statement. If it's a 3-mark question and you're not providing 3 points, for example, I have done in this case, the very first point is Sariska, the second one is going to be Alwar, and third one is going to be about Chipko movement. So had it been a 3-mark question, I would have been allotted 3 marks for the same. So as I told you, the word limit is going to be 80 marks. So either bullets or in a paragraph, but if you're writing in a paragraph and it's not a long answer, make sure you underline the important points so that it is visible to the teacher. Okay. Second important question that we're going to talk about is, again, how have human activities affected the depletion of flora and fauna? And you have to explain it. So the question asks you, or expects, what is the question expecting out of you is to probably explain. They're not asking you to analyze, they're asking you to address and explain the situation. In this case, for example, when I talk about this question, how have human activities affected the depletion of flora and fauna, and you have to explain. So I have to start my answer by giving an introduction. I am not in a haste, and I'm not going to do that, and I'm not going to show it to my teacher that we are in a haste to answer it. So following are the human activities that have caused the depletion of flora, or you can write the depletion of wildlife and plant, vegetation, etc. for that matter. Now, if it is a 3-mark question, the second way, instead of writing in a paragraph form, the second pattern that you guys can probably follow is either mention your points in bullets, or you can give a good introduction to those pointers that most of us don't give. For example, let's talk about this case. I have a point, agricultural expansion and practices like shifting cultivation for meeting the needs of growing population. Now imagine this scenario, like everybody knows this very basic answer. It's about, you're going to talk about agriculture, you're going to talk about large scale development projects, you're going to talk about habitat destruction because of all that poaching and overexploitation. But imagine just, one of you, effort you're going to make is, out of the 100 sheets that the teacher is going to receive, one of you is doing a very smart move. You're going to write the same points, but anyway, you're going to mention something different. And what different am I talking about? For example, first point, due to agriculture. And then you're going to start with your point. The second point is because of large-scale development, and then probably you can start with your own point. And third is about habitat destruction and overexploitation, and then you can give out your own point. See, the only difference is all of you are going to write these points anyway, but the only difference that's going to make anything that's going to make a lot of difference is the way you're going to present. We dress up in a particular manner to show that we are different from others, and similarly your answer should also speak a lot about your personality. I hope I'm clear with this. So in this case, what you've done is agricultural exploitation and you've given a point. Small scale development or large scale development, you've given your point, you've put it across, so that your teacher probably knows that you're very clear up in your head and you don't have to struggle a lot while answering questions like that. So you've explained all the 3 points in this context. Okay, so let's jump on to the third question. So they've asked you to suggest any 6 measures to solve. See, when you are answering or reading a question, I expect you to keep a pen in your hand and underline what they're looking for. So you have to suggest 6 measures to solve the problem of land degradation. You have to solve the issue related to land degradation, that too in India. So most of us would probably be starting our answer, okay, land degradation, let's suggest and let's get away with the answer. Let's do it. Guys, I don't think that's going to help you score well. Now, we are aiming to score well and work on practices that's going to improve your score anyway, right? And we have to follow those basic things. Imagine somebody, like any one of you, has probably put across all the 6 points that you are aware. For example, something related to afforestation, planting of shelter belts, proper management of wastelands, mining activities you have to keep a check, and also to ensure that the industrial effluents do not actually bother the ecosystem, and you have to adopt or stick to measures that have effective flowing techniques. So all the 6 points are pretty clear to you. Now imagine somebody, like one of you, has started the answer with a very good introduction. For example, what is land degradation? Right, you've started with the definition of land degradation is the misuse or over exploitation of land that has led to depletion of the basic resources that we could have used or channelized the proper way. And then after giving that definition for land degradation, you've probably underlined that point, and then you kickstart with these 6 basic points. And I've seen question papers or answer sheets coming my way. 6 points, it's been clearly mentioned that you have to write 6 points, but I've seen people writing in the form of a paragraph. So what is the use of the examiner asking you to suggest 6 measures? It's of no purpose, right? So when they are asking you to give in points, please ensure that you respect the question, what they are asking for, all right? So here you go. And once you're done with this, you're not going to stop here. You're going to conclude it. The government is coming up with a lot of acts, and a lot of practices have been taken by the local people also, local communities also, to work on the path of, protecting and conserving the land. I hope that is clear to all of you. So we've discussed 3 most important things. First point is read the question carefully. Just read it as many times as you guys can. So it's, this is a very activity like teachers have been teaching for long, students have been learning for long, but the only basic difference is now you have to get creative. In social studies, it's not about writing anything and getting marks. It's not going to help you anyway. It's about writing the accurate answers. So let's jump on to the next question. Now, here you go. The question is, mention 3 clearly mentioned. So they've clearly mentioned it. You've mentioned 3 physical factors, as well as, in addition to this, 3 human factors which determine the use of land use in India. Now, what the answer is going to come up, I know. So everybody is going to take their sheet. So you're going to start writing, okay, this point related to physical factors. Then you're going to add 1 point related to human factors that has led to, the land use pattern has changed related to human factors. Then you're going to again kickstart writing about the physical factors and again jump on to human factors. So imagine somebody narrating you the story of Jack and Jill and just telling you the conclusion first and then going back. Would you really appreciate something of that sort? I don't think you're going to appreciate. Nobody wants to hear the conclusion or maybe the ending of a movie. Nobody would like that. You want to keep the suspense going on, right? So in this case, I know what is coming your way. So in this case, you're going to tell, okay, India has an estimated land of this area. And in order to answer this question, you have to follow a specific pattern. What is going to be the pattern? First, you're going to give a good introduction. Then you're going to highlight, okay, now I'm going to talk about 3 physical factors that have actually determined the land use pattern in India. And you're going to write all those 3 points in bullet points. Then you're going to leave a line and again mention that, yes, this is what you guys have asked for. And now I'm going to talk about 3 human factors that determine the use of land use in India. So let's talk about this. This is what I was talking about. So 3 physical factors determining the land use in India. We've written all the 3 physical factors. Then I, separated it so that I have to, because I wanted to ensure that my teacher comes across and, finds out that I have differentiated or, made a difference. So now you're going to talk about 3 human factors, that's population, diversity, technological capability, culture and tradition. And then you're not going to stop here, right? So now you're going to conclude that both physical as well as human factors play a very important role in determining the land use in India.